the Nobel Prize 2023 have been announced, starting with medicine, followed by physics, chemistry, literature, much awaited Nobel Peace Prize, and now the Nobel Prize for Economics has also been announced. So we will be looking into it today. Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be talking about the Nobel Prize for Economics 2023, who has won it and why the person has been conferred with the Nobel Prize. So first of all, about the video, first we will be looking at the news, then who is Claudia Globin, who has been awarded the Economics Nobel Prize, why, what is the reason for her to win, then the questions answered by Globin and her work, then the path-breaking research that she has done in the end, prelims MCQ. Topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 3, that is Economics, paper 1, that is Society, and also very important from essay perspective, because the reason that why Claudia Globin has been awarded the Nobel Economics Prize for the year 2023 is about her work on the women labor force participation. What are the reasons that why the women labor force participation is low, what are the reasons behind it, and her deep research into the reasons regarding the parenthood, the contraceptive pills, and how the society behaves when a female is working, about the gender inequality, the payment inequality between the male and the female. So let's begin. So Claudia Globin has been conferred with the Nobel Economics Prize for the year 2023, the prize in Economic Sciences 2023. So Claudia Golden, who is the professor of economics at the Harvard University, she has won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences for the year 2023, and the Royal Swedish Academy of Science, who is the adjudicator in deciding that who will be selected as the winner, has said that Golden has been awarded the prize for having advanced our understanding of women's labor market outcomes, the role of women in the workforce, the role of women in the overall global workforce, and how it is impacted and how it affects the society also. So what is the breakthrough research because of which she has been awarded with it, and what are the records that has been set by a woman winning the Economics Nobel Prize for the year 2023. So before Golden, there were only 2 women scholars who have won the Nobel Prize of Economics, and that is Elinor Ostrom in the year 2009 and Esther Duflo in the year 2019. So since the time the Economics Nobel Prize has been announced, that was in the year 1969. So the year 1969 is the year since when the Nobel Prize in Economics has been started. So the all other Nobel Prize, that is medicine, physics, chemistry, peace, and literature. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 5 Nobel Prizes have been going on since a very long period of time. But in the year 1969, one more Nobel Prize, that is Economic Sciences, was included in it. So since the time of 1960 time, that is the inclusion of the Economics Nobel Prize, till the year 2023, till now only 3 women have won the Economics Nobel Prize. First in the year 2019, then in the year 2009, that is 2009, 2019, and now in the year 2023. So till now only 3 women have won it, and this is the only 26th time when prize has been awarded to a single laureate. So till now only 26 times the Economics Nobel Prize has been given to the single laureate, and apart from this, it can be shared between 2 people and also between 3 people, but more than 3 it cannot have, because Nobel Prizes have a rule of 3. that the prize can be shared only between 3 people. More than 3 people, it cannot be shared between. And the prize money has been given is 11 million Swedish kronor, that is around rupees 8.3 crores. So this is the prize money which has been given to the winner of the Economics Nobel Prize. Now, who is Claudia Goldin, who has been conferred with the Economics Nobel Prize for the year 2023? She is a trailblazer in the field of economics, and she has started, and she was the first one who actually did a path-breaking research on the matter of women workforce in the women workforce or women participation in the workforce. And in the year 1990, she became the first woman to be awarded tenure in the economics department of Harvard University. So this in itself is a very, very big achievement, that she became the first woman to be awarded the tenure in the economics department of the Harvard University. Harvard University in itself is such a great milestone or an achievement, that someone becomes a professor at such a reputed university, and then someone becomes the first female to be awarded the tenure. So when someone says that the professor has been given the tenure, it means that the professor has now the permanent appointment as the university professor. Permanent appointment, it means the professor is now permanent, and that the professor cannot be removed unless something extraordinary happens. So she became the first woman professor to be permanent appointment at the Harvard University. And she is also a pioneer in studying the role of women in the economy. So women and its role in the economy has always been the center point of Claudia Goldin work. Now, few of the books that she has written and has been one of the best sellers in the market, and that is Understanding the Gender Gap, An Economic History of American Women, Oxford, in the year 1990. Now this book actually set the tone of Claudia Goldin becoming a big name in the field of economics, and this was a path-breaking research and a book by Claudia Goldin. Understanding the Gender Gap. Then Career and Family, Women's Century-Long Journey Towards Equity. This she's written when she was in the Princeton University Press 2021. So this is not very old. In the year 2021, this has been published. So this is about Claudia Goldin. Now, reason for the award, that why she has been given this award, is that Goldin has provided, and it has been said by the Nobel Prize Committee, that she is the first one to do a comprehensive account of women's earnings and labor market participation through the centuries, and her research reveals the causes of the change as well as the main sources of the remaining gender gap. So she is the one who has pioneered to write about women and their participation in the economy, why their participation is low, why they are paid lower as compared to men. She talked about the gender parity, gender equity, that how the role of parenthood and children play even a negative role in a woman's workforce participation, and how after the birth of a child, the women workforce participation becomes low. So she was the one who answered all this question through her work. Then important questions answered by Goldin were that world over, women are vastly underrepresented in the labor market. Why? So she, through her work, has given the answer of this, that why women are vastly underrepresented in the labor market, and she, through her work, has also raised this question to the global audience. Then compared with men, a lower percentage of women come out of home demanding work and a lower percentage hold jobs. What are the reasons for it? that why women are not equal in the workforce as compared to men. And if we talk about India from this perspective, then India also has a very low women workforce participation, and that has always been between the ratio of 16% to 23%. And if we talk about even the parliament, then the parliament has the women participation of 15%. And if we will do the division between the formal sector and the informal sector, then the formal sector has even less number of women. The number and the percentage would go in the single digits, and that too not very high in single digit. Then when do they join the workforce? They end up earning less than men. Why is there pay parity? Pay parity, why it is not there? Why men are paid more than female even though both are doing the same work? So these are few of the important questions which she asked to the world, and through her work she answered also. Then few of the path breaking research. Then Golden's path breaking book was published in the year 1990, and this was the book which actually raised questions and also answered few of the questions and was very much in detailed. So the topic of women and women participation was very much discussed in detail, and she answered all the questions which she was raising, that why women are not there in the overall working population of the world, why the percentage is so low. So the path-breaking book that she published, or her work in the 1990, was Understanding the Gender Gap, an Economic History of American Women. So Golden showed that female participation in the labor market did not have an upward trend over this entire period, but instead forms a U-shaped curve. U-shaped curve. And participation of married women decreased with the transition from an agrarian to an industrial society. So when she said that it is showing a U-shaped curve, it is not showing a V-shaped curve. It is showing a U-shaped curve, because she said that when the society transformed from the 1990s to the 20th century, that is from the agrarian society to the industrial society. So it was not that when the society was going from the agrarian society to the industrial society, women workforce decreased. It did not increase. So during the time of agrarian society, the women workforce was more as compared to the transition to an industrial society. So when the industries took place, the women workforce participation went even low, because it was thought that women were not suitable to work in an industry as it is a labor intensive job. So the participation declined and started to increase with the growth of the service sector. So that is why it formed a U-shaped. So this was agrarian. When it was going low, this was industrial. And then from low, when the society again transitioned from the industrial to the service sector, then it again started to come up, and that is why it is a U-shaped. So first agrarian to industrial to service. That is why it is forming a U-shaped curve. And Golden also said that this pattern, as the result of structural change and evolving social norms regarding women's responsibilities for home and family, because this was the time that when a woman reaches certain age, she has to perform home and family responsibility also, and that becomes a priority for the female. And with it, when parenthood comes, then majority of the women are moving out of the workforce, and it becomes very difficult, and the number goes really down, that women after parenthood are those who are entering in again in the workforce. The numbers are very, very low. Then if we talk about the topic of the earning gap between men and women, the data shows that despite modernization economic growth and rising proportions of employed women in the 20th century, for a long period of time, the earning gap hardly closed. It means the earning gap still exists, and it is not mandatory that if the economic growth is taking place, the women workforce participation will also increase. This is not mandatory. This is not at all mandatory. Many a times we will see that inversely proportional ratio is also happening, because many a times it is seen that the household in which if the male member is earning very high income, or the very high source of income is there, then the female is not working, the female is taking care of the house. So every single time economic prosperity will not lead to more women going into the labor force participation. Then this was about the topic of economics Nobel Prize for the year 2023. Why has the Claudia Golden Nobel Prize winner for economics 2023, what has she done? Why is it a path breaking research, and what are the questions that she has asked, and what is the theme on which she majorly works? So the prelims MCQ, and people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. So the question says, the economics Nobel Prize for the year 2023 has been awarded for A, contributions to welfare economics and social choice theory; B, for having advanced our understanding of women's labor market outcomes; C, focusing attention on the grave exploitation of children for financial gains; or D. So these are very interesting options that has been given to you, because the option actually tells you a lot about the history of the Nobel Prize and also about India's history in the Nobel Prize. So give me the answer in the comment section, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.